Good morning, Shrimp Crafters. Happy Easter if you celebrate. It's almost that time. And if you don't, just enjoy your weekend. So I'm sitting here at 35 yards, and I figured I'd do something a little bit different with you. Recently, on the Shrubstead and the farm, I've had to up my predator control game, over the fall and the winter. And so I picked up a thermal, well, not just any thermal. I've been watching thermal for years, and just needing time to justify it. So I ended up picking up an AGM. I was looking at the Bearing Optics Hogster and Super Hogster, and I ended up picking up an AGM 2.5 by 256, I think is what it was. And that was a kind of a bulkier unit. And I'm trying to remember what the model number is now. So I picked that up. It's about $1,300. I got it. I ran it for a little bit, and probably about a week. I ended up having to return it. Great customer service. So when you watch videos, and if you're watching this, you might have some interest in thermal. I was running it on a American Sporting Rifle upper and 223, and checking that out, and using it to take care of coyote and fox on the property, just because we don't have enough. We got plenty of space. We don't have enough animals here. Sorry, the sun's in my eyes, so I'm trying to keep it still. So I'm kind of looking over because it's reflecting right off, even though the screen. But so with the property, I don't really have enough pasture that I want to get a dedicated livestock guardian dog and then shove them out there with all the animals. So in the winter, we bring them close in by the house, and then I can go out and monitor them. And our ducks are amazing watchdogs. They'll start quacking, and with the combination of some of the Moultrie game cams with the cell stuff, I can get out there and really get an eye on it. So had a couple of mornings I woke up with some snow, and I had big coyote and dog tracks in my front yard. And when I say front yard, right around the livestock pen, and enough was enough. So I got the man, I wish I could remember the name of it because it's a good scope, but I picked it up. It was a 256 resolution, and then I had a coyote come in, and I hesitated because I didn't really want to kill foxes. I love the fox on my property. They usually leave the livestock alone unless they get too adventurous, and I set traps for them. And so I've had a few years of good luck without having to do anything with them. Well, anyway, I was hesitating at night because the 75-yard distance, I just couldn't quite tell if it was a coyote or a fox until it turned and left. And so it was about 5 a.m. in the morning. I was out there, and I should have shot. I just wasn't at the time ready to accidentally kill a fox instead of a coyote. Now, the fox got a little more rambunctious, so game changed, and ended up using that and shooting a fox with it. And then I've had some coyote coming in. Now our season ended, so this is post-season, and I've waited to do this video just because in the middle of the season it's just a pain to do things. But I'm getting it set up because one of our friends owns some big greenhouses, and might need to do some nuisance control of rabbit this coming fall for her, depending how she does. I actually do nuisance wildlife as well. So I usually help trap them and relocate, and I follow the state codes for that. But one of the things that I was thinking about is, like, now the season's over, something fun to do is I might take this and maybe next fall up my my game during the early morning once it's legal, to harvest some animals. So anyway, I ended up having to return the other one though, and I went with the AGM Rattler. And that is in the 3.5 power base zoom by, I think, 364 resolution. So let me turn this around here and get you out of the sun. So I just mounted it on my CZ 457 American 22-inch barrel. And down here, which is really neat, if you guys don't know, is this is an EGW 0 MOA rail. They actually make them in 0, 20, and I think maybe in 40 rails. And what's neat is they just go onto the 11 mil dovetail base with 4 screws. You Loctite them in, and then this American Defense mount And we'll see. This is the middle of daylight, but the screen is down in there, and the screen is on, and actually I can see the targets really, really well. So I'll go over a few of the pointers and things that I've learned with this scope now, using it for a season successfully. There's, yeah, AGM with your American Defense comes with this. I ended up buying this from Euro Optics, and couldn't have been happier. They had free next day shipping. This unit though jumped up to $23 or $24.99, and they've just come out with a new release this year at SHOT Show, which is a Gen 2 version. I looked at it, really not much different. In terms of ease of use though, what's nice is, I mean, again, it's kind of a high cheek weld, but I'm shooting off a tripod at night, early morning, whatever, and so on here it's just a little bit high. But what's nice is you have multiple zeroing profiles in here. So I just set my B profile up to shoot 22, and my A profile is shooting my hand load 223. It holds 0. It's extremely easy to use. Even in the winter, it's really easy to use. The base model down that I was using, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it is right now. The Rattler uses this traditional scope. It's got an internal battery, and even in the minus 15 degree temps that I had this out in, the battery was averaging about 12 to 14 hours run time between charges. Underneath here is your charge cable, and it's extremely hard to get off, which is awesome. It's weather tight. And then this top cap can use a CR123 battery that can carry and limp you into a little longer use time. Variable focus up front. I broke my lens cap, and AGM's customer service so far is phenomenal. I called them up. It was 7 degrees outside, and I was trying to flip it up, and it actually cracked right off here. And they're out of Texas, so they were laughing because it was 70 degrees when it was 7 degrees for me. But they sent me one out free of charge. The only thing is that this one does not stay on as easy. It kind of pops off. And what's neat is the ones that you buy on the inside of your scope caps. I know a lot of people say if you don't look at your box, you don't have the scope serial number to register your scope to the app program, but it's usually included right here on the cap. You want to be careful in the sun. There is an auto reticle protection, so if you point it at the sun, it doesn't burn out your element. I have that turned on. And then there's lots of videos on how to use these and set them up, but I'll show you. One of the neat things when you're shooting is this has the auto record when you shoot, so every shot that I've been doing out here, setting this up for 0, has probably recorded to the app. Your power button is right here. Press and hold for probably 2 seconds, and it goes on, goes right off. This is your camera record. And then this button right here cycles through your red hot, white hot, black hot, and fusion, which is the rainbow spectrum. I tend to run this on the red hot, especially in the winter. It really makes the anything you have pop. And then you have your diopter adjustment. And then this does actually just unscrew. So if you want to get rid of that rubber cap, but it does work very well. And then on this side, one of my only complaints with this one is right here is this is your press button, and that's the press right there. It's, so, and then this, see how easy that is to cycle. That's your zoom if you're just in a regular profile. So that's your zoom. So what's really nice is the ease of which this actually goes. So if I have my 3 power base or 3.5 power, and then it goes 6, 1 click is 6 power, 2 is 12, and then 24, and then you can just real quick easy out. When I was carrying this on the gun, every so often I did actually hit this a few times, did activate some of the menus when I wasn't looking. So it is actually very, very sensitive. I wish it was a little bit harder to turn, more of a positive, like, you had to keep going and click. It just rolls very easy. Now, it does come off of that very quick, but it does roll on very fast. What's neat though is that if you're looking at this as an optic, I would highly recommend it. It's held 0. It's shoots exactly point aim, and when you're setting it up with the 1-shot 0, down here, let's see if I can zoom in for you. I've got a little cardboard box, and on that cardboard box down there, right there, what I did was I took a battery and put it into a piece of aluminum foil, and with the aluminum foil, you cut a little hole, you aim at it, take a shot, and wherever that shot lands, you do your XY axis. I'm going to turn this around. wherever that shot lands, there's an XY axis in the reticle feature, not zeroing profiles, which is there's reticle and zeroing profiles, and you go in, and then when you change it, you come down. There's an X axis, you know, and just rotate that knob on the left towards you. Once you've done it, and that'll drop your scope on the, you know, vertical up and down X axis. I'm sorry, it'll run you over on the X and Y. So the X axis goes left and right, your Y axis goes up and down. Pull it towards you, it goes to the right. Pull it towards you when it's on the Y axis, it pulls it down. So you shoot one shot, hit freeze, and there's a freeze menu button in there. And there's a lot of good videos out there that show you these. And then you freeze it, take it, and just with the gun stable, so a tripod mount, bench rest mount, you then just move your crosshairs down, hit unfreeze once it's there, go back to your original aiming point and shoot. Now if you want to try see if you're there, what you can do is put like if you're trying to zero and it's a crummy day and you don't have a good heat signature where your second shot impacted, I just do a little X slit in the box, and I'll show you in a minute. And then I stick a second battery with aluminum foil on it, and they get real hot real fast, and then you can shoot it and they explode. And then the neatest thing is, so this the Rattlers have a sound on them now, so they automatically record the shot, so you don't have to worry about trying to turn it on. It's got a 7-second back shot delay record on every shot, so you pull the trigger, bang, it's on. Sound needs to be turned on if you want it on. Sound can be turned off if you don't want to hear yourself breathing in excitement or whatever. I do find it nice because, you know, in the moment you pull the trigger and you're like, all right, was I good? What, you know, so it's nice to be able to go back. This might actually even be helpful during deer season for some people. So figure out a way to mount it on your flintlock, you know, or on a Thompson when you sporterize them. Put a thermal on there during the day, and you can get you know, get that early morning deer come out of the woods, and you can see the blood trail, and you can watch your video again when you shoot. Definitely don't use it at night. But for the 22 here, it's going to be a fun little Predator, you know, and small game gun, you know, come next fall for me. So I was just out here today thinking that I might do that, especially since the season just ended for me on coyote, and we harvested, you know, some that were screwing around near us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how awesome this works. I'm going to flip this camera around. I've got a paint can that is empty down there. And I just did the 1-shot zero. It actually took me about 5 shots because I pressed the wrong button and backed out, so I had to do it over again. But I'm hitting center, so I'm going to aim down there and see if I can't hit the cap off first of the paint can, and we'll see what we do. It's a CZ457. I don't know if I can, let me see if I can shim this for us, so that you can see this. All right, so I am going to, I'm looking through and I can see. I'm going to zoom in to 6 power, well, I'm on 12 power. It does jump real quick, and I'm going to turn around and see, so I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed, so you can watch as well. Alright, since you're still there, I'm going to put one in the head on the left, or actually I'm going to go right on the upper shoulder of the left because that's clear, that's steel. And then I'm going to go over here. I'll go to the head on the right target. And see if I can find... Can't see that paint can now, so I think it fell behind. Do another in the head on the right target. Well, we'll do that again. I think that's 5. Yep. Click. So anyway, there you go. This is the AGM Rattler. Works really, really good. Let's go down and take a peek at those targets. I'll show you the zeroing. Again, 35 yards right now with 22, and I'm using Winchester Blue Box hollow points, 36 grain. But I'll show you. see how we did on that paint can. I didn't see paint go flying. I know I nicked it, I just don't know where. Okay. So it was facing me. One-handed, that's where I was aiming here, and I hit here. I was shaking a little bit on 12 hour. So there's where my battery was in the center. I cut a little slit. My first shot was down here. So you freeze it. I went over and down. You hit unfreeze, and then you'll see your old reticle. So as you move, you'll see that where it was. And then I had a couple over here. So I just move over, and then eventually I came back. When you hit the battery, it explodes. There's my paint can. Here's a 3-shot group with a 22. And then over here, this is where I said I'd hit the shoulder, right there. So if you're in the market, they're not cheap. That scope setup cost $23.99, $24.99 shipped with the mount. But for the predator control that it's actually done for me already, you know, saving me money. It's cheaper than a dog. And I've already got small dogs. I don't need a big dog. You know, we've got plenty of animals out there that could justify it. I just don't want a dog barking all night at everything and doing its job, because that's what they do. And that CZ 457 American is just a phenomenal. Right here. Don't worry, that's a recessed target crown way down in there. So I'm not actually damaging it, although I don't like leaning anything against there. But yeah, you know, so EGW cost 90 bucks for that flat top 11 mil adapter. Again, not cheap. 2,400 bucks for that optic, not cheap. But what it does do is you a lot of flexibility in predator control, hunting, whatever you end up wanting to do. I'm just gonna make sure. Shutting down. Yeah, I still have 2 bars of power, and I haven't charged this up in probably well over a month, and I take it out every night, checking our pastures. Or was taking it out, I should say. I haven't in the last few days since our season ended, but you know, it is well worth it, in my opinion, and might do well, you know, come hunting season. Get that on a flintlock or a percussion gun and see if we can't do that right now. Not going to do that, although I think that would be a first and be pretty cool. But yeah, figured I would share something different and let you see what I'm up to. Yeah, that cardboard box tip works really well. You know, the aluminum foil, I just bring some and I throw some spare batteries in my pocket, and I only used 1 battery on this setup, and that's all I needed. We are now set, so perfect. And then what's nice is I marked my flat top on the other, put some paint marker in place, and I did not change the tension on these quick releases. I have had taken it off before and put it back on, and I am shooting to the exact point of aim with it. So now with the 2 profiles, I can take this one back off, slap it on, and you can do this. I think there's 25 profiles you can do with this. I think it's 5 different times 5 subsets. So it's like profile 1, A, B, C, and D, and E. Profile 2, A, B, C, D, E. Profile 3, profile 4, profile 5. So you can have 25 different setups. So you could do 1 gun, 5 different zeros. I set my last one at 50 yards, this one at 35. So you're good to go. All right, with that said, I hope everyone's going into this weekend, and if you celebrate Easter, great, enjoy it. If you celebrate Ramadan, I think this is the same time, because I know I've been getting a lot of calls for people wanting to eat my goats. So what's interesting is I know I've got some people at work, some Italians, and they love baby goat or baby sheep as their traditional I think Easter meal. So it's like the game is on everybody wanting baby goats and young goats for dinner. So all right, well, enjoy your weekend, whether or not you're actually celebrating anything. I'm just celebrating the nice weather, the fact that I'm outside. I don't feel too bad, but you know, it is what it is. All right, everybody, stay safe and enjoy your time off.